Another amazing episode of The Naked Truth. I am here with my favorite person in the world, Mr. Look at that. Yes, you. And look at my background. It's all jiggly and stuff.
Yeah.
It's amazing because here, I'm totally fine. But here, I'm all jiggly.
That is interesting.
I'm in space.
Huh.
Yeah, so happy. What are we? What are we, Paul?
Hump day.
Hump day.
What day is it, Carl?
What day?
Hump day. That I could watch that commercial forever. I never get tired of that. Isn't it weird how stuff like that gets into your head?
So, I know nothing about that commercial.
Juice, come on!
No idea.
You don't know about the
Nope.
Geico commercial?
I know Geico, but not this one. Hump day.
Oh my God. It's like the greatest. They're in a typical office. Everyone's got cubicles.
Yeah.
And this camel comes walking down the aisle between the cubicles and he keeps asking the workers what day it is because talking camel and they're all like they don't want to deal with him and they ignore him and then finally he gets the last one. He goes, come on, what day is it? And the one goes all like totally unenthusiastic, goes, it's hump day. And the camel's like, hump day. And it's like a great, it's so simple, but it's so great. It's
So,
so
what
awesome.
is hump day?
Hump day? Wednesday is the hump in the week. It's the middle of the week.
Ah,
Yeah.
aha.
So, but then the camel, hump day, like, you know, like,
Did you see my did you see the video that I shared today about English is complicated language?
I've seen that bit before. That guy does a good bit on that. Yeah.
Right? He's like, I'm the shit. I'm the shit. It's like their shit is bad. Like I don't have time to deal with his shit and her shit, but my shit, don't nobody touch my shit. It's fantastic. So guys, before we get go ahead. Go
So
ahead.
clearly, you know,
Yeah.
this is what happens so often when we get started. Now my dog decides she wants to go outside. So while I go let my dog outside, why don't you talk about your thing you have coming up?
Yes. So, guys, before we get started, if you want to know how to use psychology to get people to say yes to you while you are live streaming, hop on over to viralconnectivity.com/influence. There is an amazing summit called Leap into Live Streaming Bootcamp. And it's 3 days that will give you completely free. It will show you how to do live streaming, dive into live streaming. And my session is about incorporating all of Cialdini's 6 principles of influence in live video. And I'm going to show you a few case studies of how people are using this right now to build their influence, build their audience, and make some money. Completely free. All you have to do is register, and then you're gonna get an invitation when it's live. I believe it's live for 24 hours, so you can watch like all the sessions there. So viralconnectivity.com/influence. Dive into that, sign up into to that, and hopefully, if you need any help with live streaming, marketing, business, personal development, anything that you need help with, this is what we're here for. So I actually sent an email out today and asked my list, is there anything you need help with? I got like really a few really good emails
It's like
back.
crickets.
Crickets? No, why
Isn't it?
crickets?
Crickets like choop choop, choop choop. It was like I was like, come on, you're all rocking it so much. Nobody's got anything they need help with. What are you
Right. Oh
talking
yeah, on
about?
social. Yeah. So my email list got I got a few responses privately,
good.
which was great. But on social, yes, guys, if you need anything, like any help with. Yesterday I was in a mastermind and a few people were talking about realizing that they need to go live or start doing video and there's fear of camera. So if that's something that you're struggling with, let us help. I heard about people who are afraid to be in their house alone. If that's something you're struggling with, look what you got here to help you. This guy that's not looking at the camera. This guy that's not looking at the camera. Yes, you guy. He can help you with anything that you need in personal development. So fear of being alone at home or fear of being stuck there forever or not
Did I ever
doing.
tell you that story
Which story?
about the fear of being alone?
No, tell me.
So as I get invited, this is the first year in a long time that I haven't been able to do it. I get invited every year to speak at the largest high school in the state of New Hampshire. And they do, because I live in New Hampshire, and they do this week every year. It's a long-standing tradition. They do this week called Social Studies Week. And during Social Studies Week, the Social Studies department brings in all of these guest speakers throughout the week. And the classes, all the different classes that are in the social studies department, come down if the teacher chooses to and bring them to these speakers. It's like a big enrichment week. It's a pretty cool thing. And so I've been performing at this school. I do a fundraiser show for them every year, help them make money. And I make money doing it as well. It's not, I'm not that like benevolent, but it's been a great thing. We've helped them make a lot of money. And so very early on when I started going there, they invited me to come in and be part of Social Studies Week. And they ask me every year to talk about how hypnosis can help people in their personal development.
Right.
And so I come in and every year I give a slightly different, I keep tweaking the presentation every year. But what's really cool about it is, so it's the biggest school in New Hampshire. And they've got like, and again, in other states, I know there's lots of schools this big, but we're a small state. We only have 1.2 million people in the whole state. They have like 1,500 or 2,000 students at this school. And so they have so many classes that it's not like just one or two classes. Like there's like 6 or 7 or 8 classes at once. And then I'll present for like 4 or 5 or sometimes even 6 class periods in a row. So I'll see like, 15 to 20 classes in a day. And so the last time that I went, I was talking to them, and once I had some time to talk to them and I felt like I had built some rapport, I said, listen, I want you to be brave right now. I just want you to tell me, like, what's the big thing that scares you? Like someone just holler out, like, what's the big thing that what's your biggest fear in life?
Yeah.
And there's always, these are high school students, there's always a moment of pause. And then in a group that big, there's going to be someone that, and I did 6 presentations that day. And in 5 of the 6 rounds, the first thing they said was being alone.
So alone or lonely?
Being alone.
So just being alone in your room by yourself.
Yeah, being alone. That's the way they framed it. They said being alone, because I think in their mind, being alone leads to being lonely,
Yeah.
But so, and the 6th group, someone jokingly hollered squirrels, which they might have not been totally joking, right? And then everyone giggled. And then once we got past squirrels, the next thing they said was being alone.
Interesting.
So think about the irony of that, of like, how do you go to the largest high school in the entire state, and every day while you're at school, you have over 1,000 people around you, and yet on a day-to-day basis, your biggest fear is being alone?
Yeah.
It was like fascinating to me.
Yeah, there's a movie that came out called Screeners, and it's a documentary. And I just started watching it. You guys can get it online. It's really, really interesting. It looks at the relationship of teenagers with technology and each other socially. And it kind of gave me like, a view into something that I'm completely unaware of and find it very hard to understand, is why do people get anxious with social media? Anxious, depressed, afraid. And I just started watching it, so I didn't see the whole thing. But the first thing was like, I'm seeing my friends doing things and I'm not doing them. And I get envious and I get anxious of why am I left out of the things that they're doing. And I should be doing these things, right?
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. Like I didn't think about it in a way of, like Paul is on an island and I'm not, or he's getting speaking gigs and I'm not. So I start getting stressed of what's not happening. But then I realized that this is what's happening to me right now. I'm in these circles where everybody is like chasing opportunities and I'm like, I'm not doing enough. Right. Yeah. And they're like, and so I can see how this can bring into like social anxiety and stress and fear, and people just like crumble inside their little nooks and don't want to go out and talk to anyone.
So the big thing about that, Efat, is it's funny. Like, so one of the things that we've talked about many times over the years is how technology accelerates things.
Yeah.
that people tend to think technology is doing something new, and it's not doing anything new. It's just accelerating how things get done. And this is a perfect example of that. Like this, I assess my life in comparison to the lives of those around me. That's not happening because of telephones and social media platforms. It's always been happening. Kids in the 50s sat in their classrooms every day and looked at who was more popular than them and who had a boyfriend or girlfriend when they didn't, or who had nicer clothes, or there's always this comparing going on, right? But the technology allows it to scale to a level that's like crazy, right?
Well,
Because whereas you'd sit in a room with your classmates, or you might be in a school. Like my school growing up only had about 500 people in the whole school. Now you're exposed to thousands and thousands of people digitally. It just scales up.
yeah. The other difference though is that you didn't see, right? So like you didn't see them on a vacation. You didn't see them, with their
You
friends
heard
having
about it,
fun.
but you didn't see it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was
Yeah.
more kind of like, ooh, yesterday we went to, and you're like, oh, cool. Right. But now you're just going through like, she has a fantastic relationship. I don't have a boyfriend. She's, got a new
Right.
car. I don't have a thing. Right. So it's maybe a little
But
different.
see, again, no, but really get literal into what you just said, though, those things. If your friend has a boyfriend and you envy them, you saw that boyfriend at some point. If your friend got a new car, you saw that at some point. It is a lot of stuff that you see, but the speed at which you see it and the number of impressions,
Yeah.
right?
Maybe.
Because you see it over and over again with the phone, right? Like,
Yeah.
like maybe the vacation, right? You don't see your friend go on the vacation. You hear them talk about it.
Right.
That does, not only, it used to be you'd come back from spring break and your friend would go, "What'd you do for spring break?" You're like, "Nothing, I chilled out home." They'd be like, "Dude, I went to Key West and it was awesome." You'd hear them say it and you'd have a moment of envy. Now with social, you see the 35 pictures they took
Every
and
day.
the video,
Yeah.
and so you
Yeah.
do get packed with that. But a lot of it's still it's always been there. It's just scaling up,
Yeah.
really,
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like amplified, right? And it's always in your
big time.
face.
Yeah.
And the other thing that they were saying that was very interesting is that as they get anxious and depressed, they turn to social, they turn to YouTube to kind of like numb themselves and not think about their own feelings. And now it's like amplifying this a little bit because now you see even more and the thoughts are coming in and they have like anger issues.
Yeah.
It's very fascinating. So the movie is called Screeners, and if you guys are interested in checking that out, it's available online, not free. I think you can buy it for like $9 or something like that.
$9. Well, maybe.
I know. Or there's this site that you can go to.
No, there isn't. We don't endorse that. No.
There are no sites. Go support
We
the
honor
artist.
the work that others put in the creation of their art, and we
Yes, go
support
support
them.
the artist.
Yes.
Totally. So Perlin is here. Perlin.
Perlan,
Perlin.
one of my favorite
Perlin.
people.
Yes, howdy. So what we want to talk about today is saying yes. The answer is yes. And this comes up from a conversation that Gary Vaynerchuk had this morning with one of his viewers. And the guy was like, should I do this? And Gary's like, yep. Should I do that? Yep. So the idea is that if you guys are feeling that it's too late, you should have started with TikTok last year. You should have been doing YouTube for the past 5 years. You should have been mastering social media, and having a funnel and all that stuff. Should you do this now? Yes. Is it too late? No, because the world is huge, right? And you cannot serve billions of people. You can only serve maybe 100 or maybe 50 or maybe 10, right? And so should you start a podcast? Yes. Should you go online right now and start your own live stream show? Yes. Should you start blogging and doing social media? Yeah. So there are things that you can do right now to start not even taking advantage of the situation, but positioning yourself to when things shift and we're going to be more online than we are offline. And those things are things that Paul is helping in his mastermind for small businesses, which is get your YouTube channel up and running, get your social profiles up and running, set up an appointment calendar so people can contact you. Have a presence online that people can find you and interact with you. Be visible on maps. Start doing live video. Start communicating with people on
All right.
social. Yeah.
Here's the irony, though, Ifat.
Yes.
I am literally telling those people to say no more often.
No more to what?
Well, so this is where it's cool, right? This is a useful. So what I'm trying to get a lot of my small business mentees to focus on right now is the idea that they've been trying to do too much, right? They're trying to be on Instagram and TikTok and Twitter and Facebook and so as a result, they're not doing any of it well. Or they're trying to sell this service and this service and this service and this service and this service. And then even though they have 5 different services that they're offering, they're still, their calendar isn't booked full. And some of them are literally, well, like maybe if I add a 6th service. And I'm like, no, stop trying to do everything and figure out what the most important thing is that you really want to do. What drives you like into like that real juiced mode where you're like, I love doing this work and I'm freaking good at it. And I make stuff happen when I do this, and just focus on that. Like get your messaging clear, get your branding clear, get your outreach clear. I think that what happens so often with small business owners is we think that if we just do more, we have more chances to make money. Right? So if I do 5 social platforms instead of 1 or 2, then I have 5 areas of distribution, and that's going to bring more people to me. And it's like, but if you're not doing it well, then you're not doing it well.
Right. And so I love what you said, doing it well. Right. And so are you fantastic on video? Then go do video. Right. Are you a great writer? Right. Use social media. I didn't say go to all social platforms. Find one that you really enjoy and love and where your audience is at, and do that. But the question is like, should I be, using online social video, podcasting and stuff? Yes, you should.
But there's a discernment there though, right? There's an important discernment because we know that all of these things bring value when they're done right.
Yep.
And this almost goes back to what you're talking about with the screeners, right? Is I think that in our modern world, our entrepreneurs, our small business people, they look around and they see others doing all this stuff and they feel like they're missing out somehow. They feel like they're screwing up by not doing literally all of it.
Right.
And this is part of where, again, I love Gary Vee, but sometimes I get frustrated because sometimes when he does this stuff, he doesn't provide the context that I think he could. Like when he sits there and goes, yes, I go, yeah, the guy with $130 million a year.
But he didn't start like that, Paul, so don't jump.
I know, but he brought people in right along. And then he talks to individuals and he doesn't build that context of how he got other people involved quickly and built a team. And so it sounds like the message to me often as a small business owner is that I should be doing all that stuff.
Gotcha.
Now, did Gary literally say that? No. So like, again, I'm not mad at him, but I just wish he'd do more context sometimes.
Okay, so let's dive into that because that's fantastic. And Perline's saying, we both are right. Of course we are. I love you. That is great.
We are. It's true. That's what I mean. It's the whole, how do you really get your head around the details of it, the weeds of it,
Right. She says, Paul is talking skill and expertise, and I am talking where to play it, podcast, YouTube, sites. So so let's dive into that for a second. Okay. If you're just starting out online right now, you are not my client, you are Paul's client. So I will help you if you've already been playing online, you have an audience, you have a program, you just want to get more reach and you want to convert more, this is my playground. If you're just starting out and you don't have a YouTube channel and you don't have social platforms and you don't have a funnel and you don't have anything that will allow people to find you online and connect with you online, go grab Paul's mastermind because he will help you set all that stuff up and he will help you focus on the first step, right? This is what I'm going to do and this is how I'm going to make money. After that, then you get into my world where it's like, okay, now let's scale that and let's amplify it across all channels, across, all conversations. So there's definitely a gradual climb, if you will, right? You have to start somewhere and then you amplify it like Gary Vaynerchuk. The idea of like saying yes to where you need to be online is not to say yes to everything, right? But to say like, should I do whatever it is that you feel like doing? Should I do video? Yes. Should
Well,
I? Go ahead.
So I'm sorry. So, but I think that again, the thing I love about what I think Gary's trying to message in that is so often the way humans work, our knee-jerk reaction is almost always no. And so then we end up not doing things that we should be doing because we're so afraid of failing at it,
Right.
or we're so afraid of it not working, which really is ultimately the fear of having to feel as if we failed at doing it,
Right.
you know? And so I do love that idea of like, we need to all say yes more, you know? And that goes back to, remember that Jim Carrey movie?
Yes, totally. Yeah. Yeah. And where it's like everything is a yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Perlin is saying tag teaming at your best, you too. So yeah. And Abhishek, I think I'm saying it right. He's on LinkedIn and he's saying, so true. Although it's so silly to compare, many end up making bad decisions because of that. So that falls into what you're saying about comparing yourself to other people. That's what he means. So that
Okay.
falls into what you were saying right now. I see myself like Gary Vaynerchuk. I need to do everything that Gary is doing. I need to be everywhere. And then you get stressed and you do nothing, right?
Right? Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You get paralyzed by it. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you got to start somewhere, right? But the idea of saying yes is like your knee-jerk reaction is, do you want to do a podcast? Is it too late to do a podcast? It's not too late. Your audience is out there. You can do that. Is it too late to go to TikTok? No. You know, there's still plenty of playground. Is it too late to go to YouTube? No. YouTube is the second largest search engine. Start it, right? It's not too late to do that, but you have to decide where you want to be, right? Like, what is your message? Who can you help? And I think we started with that at the beginning of our show, where we were talking about how to ethically profit from a crisis. And we said, go out, find people that you can help, ask them what they need help with. And Brian said that yesterday, right? He just reached out.
Yeah, it's good looping back together things. Yeah.
Right? Like we're
Yeah.
always coming back to like, how can I help? Not what can I sell? How can I help? Right? And if you do that, then where is your audience? Is it on LinkedIn? Then go find your audience on LinkedIn and engage with them and help them, or on YouTube and help them. You know, there's a great, there are so many resources out there. Like you'll never lack resources. If you want to know how to take a piece of video and turn that into a podcast and social assets and articles and memes and all that stuff, just go look like how to turn one piece of content into many, and you'll have that, and you can do that, right? And you don't have to drive yourself crazy doing it. You just have to start and then continue. Be consistent. That's it. But as a small business owner, like we talked yesterday with Brian, we do need to capitalize on our relationship and pivot to online. And the challenge is like a lot of people know or hear, or they're like, yeah, I need to pivot to online, but they don't pivot. They don't think about how they can do that. And so if you're just starting out, Paul can help you with this. Like he will help you put your business online at the beginning. And if you're already working online and you just want to amplify it and you want more time so you can have conversations with people, then I can help you with that. We can amplify your messages and stream you and position you and make you look pretty. But you just have to say, yes, I want to do this, and take the first step. Do it. Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. Speaking of just doing it, two things. One, hop on in here and sign up to this conference. It's completely free. It will teach you how to live stream. It will teach you the software. It will give you the psychology. It will give you strategies and all that jazz. So hop on in there and get started with live streaming. And if you need more help with live streaming, let me know, because I'll teach you. I'll teach you how to do that. So if that's what you're struggling with, let me know and we can help you with that. And if you need more help just getting started, Mr. Paul Ramsey will help you with that.
Do that sometimes. Yeah.
We'll help you with that. How's that going, by the way?
It's so good. I'm so glad that I did it. I really am. I'm having such a good experience working with the folks I'm working with right now and watching them. I mean, we're only in the second week, you know, we're really early on in the process, but watching them get clarity on what they're doing, come to new understandings of themselves. Even just little things like yesterday, I had a one-on-one with one of them, and we worked out like the stuff we're doing, and it led her to figuring out that even though she had two websites, they weren't the right platforms for her building her centralized brand. And so now she's purchased a new domain. She's like so excited. It's like, you know, she's just so fired up, and she's going to build that thing very affordably with what we're doing in the program. And her brand is just going to take off. I just know it is, because everything she's doing, she's getting clearer. It's so important to get clear on what you're really trying to do. And I find that when I struggled, you know, in my earlier years of business, it was always because of a lack of clarity.
Right.
When you get clear on stuff, you start accelerating big time.
Totally. I remember when I was just a G Plus Go to Gal, it was so easy. Everybody understood. It's Google Plus. That's it. Right?
Yeah.
Now, let's explain engagement.
But still, I mean, you keep doing that though, and you've stuck with it. And that's what I think one of the things I admire about what you've done is you have not, while you keep looking for different ways to do it, you've never strayed from that core thing. And that's what's keeping you in the game, right? You didn't go, well, maybe I should start, you know, offering a social media content creation service, right. Or, you know, I didn't just start trying to, you know, maybe I should have people build. You're like, you know, this is the thing that you really think matters, and you stick to it. And I think that's really important.
Thank you. Yeah, I hope that will change the world. Together we can change the world. Together. So, do you have your summit coming up? I want to help you guys with StreamYard and streaming and going live. So if there's any other question, guys, that you are struggling with, or that you need help with, or that we can answer for you, between Paul and I, we have a vast network of fantastic people that are not only marketers. So whatever you guys need help with, we have lawyers, accountants, service providers. We have like a really good network that we can bring in and really help you in real time like this. So just leave your comments, questions, anything like that. And you can always hop on in. And come.
Don't you think, Efat, that's the best part of like being an entrepreneur is all the other people?
Yeah.
Like I was thinking about, I'm like, we do. I'm like, I want to start listing. I was going to be like, if you need this, I can do it. If you need it. And then I started thinking about the actual people, the idea that I would only send you to those people because they're people who I cherish so much. And they're so like, they love what they do so much and they're so good at it. And they're people of integrity. And I'm like, how cool is that I have all those people around me in my life? Yeah. It makes my life better. Yeah. It's so cool.
And see how generous we are. We are willing to introduce you to our network. So everybody can benefit, right? I mean, a lot of people are very protective of their the connections because it takes forever to cultivate them. So seriously, if you guys need any help, just comment, message us or anything like that. If we cannot solve it between the two of us, we can probably have someone that we can refer you to or a resource or something like that. So we're here to help small businesses and big. And we'll do that again tomorrow at 1 p.m. Come on, do it with me.
11. 1 2. Still not working for me.
Not working.
I'm going to tell you, don't just seek the naked truth. Be the naked truth.
There you go. I love it. Don't just seek the naked truth. I'll say it with my Israeli accent. Because sick is going to sound completely different when Paul says it and when I say it. So thank you guys. Have a fantastic hump day. And we will see you guys tomorrow.